Hi, I'm Nate Johnson, owner and head trainer at Steel Strength Training, where we believe in prehab, rehab, and doing what you thought was impossible. Today we're going to be talking about strength training, just for your average Joe. This is going to be most of us, and this is going to be the guidelines you want to follow if you're new to working out, you're new to lifting weights, and you know you want to get started on strength training, but you're not really sure how to set up your program. So the first thing we'll talk about is frequency of training, how many times a week you should be training, and then we'll just be talking about the things you should focus on during your training. So it's just 2 points today. So the first thing is going to be frequency of training. At first, I totally just recommend starting with 2 or 3 days a week. This is a minor change to whatever you're doing right now. It's not going to be a big commitment, so it's something that you'll slowly add into your life and that you'll get used to. It'll just become habitual and you'll get used to lifting weights, working out a few times a week, but it's also not too demanding. You're not having to go to the gym 6 days a week for 2 hours after work and on the weekends, things like that. So typically 2 to 3 days per week, anywhere from 30 minutes to an hour is usually plenty. Now, what should you be looking to accomplish during these workout sessions? First, I'd say make sure you're focusing on the main lifts. These are my recommendations for everyone. Everyone can benefit from building up what I like to think, what I call a strength base. And this isn't very difficult to build up. Just through repetition, practice of the lifts, your strength will go up. You'll build a little bit of muscle mass. Your body will get very efficient at recruiting the muscles that are required during that lift. And this is just going to make everyday life easier. You don't have to put ridiculous amounts of effort. You don't have to grind out reps. You don't have to do 100 sets to get better at squat or bench press or deadlift. But if just through a simple 5 sets of 5 approach or something like that, just a similar approach, something very simple, put in some moderate effort and a lot of consistency, and you're going to see a lot of progress. It's just going to make everyday life easier simply because you're stronger. The next thing I want you guys to focus on is conditioning work. You don't have to be in shape like an athlete. You don't have to go run marathons here. You don't have to be the world's greatest sprinter. However, pick things that are fun, random, that are going to get you breathing hard, sweating a little bit, and making you just a little uncomfortable. But that's it. The biggest thing with conditioning work is also consistency. So if you're continuing to push the prowler, run some sprints, run hills, pick up heavy things, push heavy things, pull heavy things, things of that nature. Just get creative with the conditioning work, have fun, and do something. This is also just going to give you some endurance for everyday activities. So that should make up the meat of your program. So get stronger, do some conditioning work, get you in better shape. From there, the last thing that you should really be focusing on is mobility work. As we age, mobility and strength are probably the 2 things we see a big decline in. And so I think that if you start combating those now, again, just be consistent. You don't have to do anything ridiculous. 5 to 15 minutes a day of some mobility work will go a long way in ensuring that you have the flexibility, mobility to continue to squat, run around with your kids, your grandkids, walk to the mailbox, things like that. If you're working with, a lot of times I'm working with younger clients who they want to look better, they want to perform better as athletes, and these are awesome goals. They're totally fine. But I think as we age, things change a little bit, and it becomes more important for us to have the strength to do something other than sit in our chairs, to run around and play with the children in our life that we love so much, and just carry out various activities so that we can stay independent. So if you hit those 3 things, strength training, conditioning work, and mobility work, 2 to 3 times a week, 30 minutes to an hour, you're set. That's all that the majority of the population really needs. So I would encourage you guys to go ahead and get started with that. It can really be life-changing.